I'm having a bunch of saliva come up in my mouth. Holy crap. Chris Wood here, September 2nd, 2022. I'm just doing a quick update to let everybody know that this may or may not be my last video, for the simple reason is I am being severely numbed down. Once again, the whole right side of my head, the whole right side of my body is nothing but electricity. I feel nothing. I don't feel my thoughts. I don't feel my own consciousness. I am not completely numbed. And it is being done to me through EMFs, through what is called remote neuromonitoring. And what it does, what remote neuromonitoring is an implant, a microchip implant that destroys a person's nervous system. And I, back in 2019, was at my previous address. I was sitting on my front porch, and the ex-O.P.P chief went by. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler, and he waved at me. I waved back. I think that was a sign. As soon as I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. This was at the lights on Center and Bridge. Excuse me. And they pointed something and shot it, and it went into my right ear, and I started having problems ever since. Whatever it was, it went into my ear, and it traveled down. It started to travel down and then up to the back of my head, to this part, to my parietal lobe. So I went to the hospital to find out what was going on. I finally got an appointment for a CAT scan that year. I go to get my CAT scan done, and I was there with my mother at the time and someone else. And conveniently, a woman from mental health named Stacy was there. She walked right by all of us at the time. But I go in to get my CAT scans done, and next thing you know, I was not satisfied with my results, so I said that I wanted to see them. I was told I would not understand them, that I needed medication, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, what the hell are you talking about? I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to this. And the reason I quit going to hospitals, especially around here, was I was getting sick and tired of being treated like a piece of shit. I went to the hospital the last time I actually went to NAPANEE Hospital was to be checked for pneumonia. And I walked in there, and triage nurse David was working at the time, him and Tanya, and the first words out of their mouth was, "We have no drugs and you are getting none." They automatically started treating me like a piece of shit because I had long hair and my tattoos at the time. So fed up with being treated like a piece of shit and being discriminated against and not getting no help, I decided to start doing it myself, to healing myself, to start learning ways of self-healing. I was doing good mentally, physically, spiritually. I was meditating. But anyway, after all of this started, and the reason it did start was because of me speaking of O.P.P police crimes at the Morning Star mission at the time. They were using it for homeless, exploiting the homeless for charitable means, for financial gain, and using church means for it to do it, and using the homeless exploiting. And I started talking about this and other crimes, and as a result, then I became a victim. I was at actual mental health prior to this me being shot in the ear. And I did talk to a woman named Stacy, the one that I previously mentioned. I ended up walking out on her. I was there to get help for somebody else, and she started making accusations. The first words out of her mouth when I walked into her office was, "I know you," and "No, you don't." And I was wondering what the fuck you're talking about. Next thing you know, she started her bullshit, so I was not satisfied. I got up and walked out. Next thing you know, the next day, I get a meal delivered from a pastor, a priest here in town, David Smith. 5 minutes later, Spencer Mills, O.P.P, Lennox and Annington, Ontario Provincial Police shows up at my door with a guy from mental health, basically to tell me to intimidate me and to let me know if I did not stop talking in so many ways about what was taking place at the mission, there would be serious consequences, mentally and or jail, whatever the case. And he was 100% right. Next thing you know, William Wooldridge comes onto the scene and he started stalking. I would go out and he was always right there. I would go downtown, he was right there. I would step out my door and he was right there, or within minutes of me being outside, he was going by. Doing this 24/7, sometimes first thing in the morning up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. This is how bad it was. I would go downtown, he was right there. I could not make a move without him being right there. The reason he knew where I was at every given second was because I had the remote neural monitoring on me, and also his prisoner tracking. They took off him and put it onto me for part of this framing, for part of this identity theft, for revenge, retaliation, because of me speaking of those crimes that I was just previously talking about. I will not be proven wrong. I've been seriously injured, I've been tortured, I've been stalked, I've been kidnapped to prevent what I'm talking about and showing now, back May 27, 2021, 24 hours after me asking for help with what has taken place and having police and doctors and others arrested and charged. So as a result, 24 hours later, I was kidnapped, and that was in an attempt to shut me up. And also they got my blood and my piss. And then I started talking about the crimes that were taking place through the Lennox and Annington Hospital. They have doctors here that they have and use to cover their crimes. And I was talking about these. I got a hornet in here. Ooh. I don't need to be stung. And I started talking about these crimes. So as a result, I believe they co-conspired to deflect everything and give me a record which I did not previously have, and to get my prints and pictures and to criminalize me, to deflect the crimes that they are guilty of on me with criminal negligent intent. Since 2019, the medical blacklisting, the discriminations, and everything else against me, the file falsifications after me not being to a hospital or a doctor for almost 7 to 10 years prior to this, and then all of a sudden I get all these falsified files on me and all this other I seen your file bullshit. The lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, the arrest refusals, except for on me, they co-conspired to have it done to me to deflect. Because of me, like I said, starting to want them arrested and charged for the crimes with the cops, as well as their boss, William Billy Wooldridge, the one that's doing this identity theft to me, a sex offender, inmate, human trafficker. He is a sex slavery trafficker. He is a co-offender with O.P.P. Spencer Mills, 14716, Staff Sergeants, ex-Chief, Shannon Cork, Robert King, Robert Lucas, a mental health worker, Stacy again, that showed up at the hospital, and Shelley Huffner, Dr. Tatiana V., who is Stacy's girlfriend, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard. Ones they have used to discriminate against me, Dr. Ambimbola, Dr. Sue, Dr. Fardell. The ones involved directly again, Triage Nurse Terry, Triage Nurse Tanya, and Triage Nurse David, and Paladin Security. William Bill Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, boss to them. Blair Hardy, who's allegedly in jail. human trafficker, drug trafficker, co-offender with the 4 O.P.P. Tyler Lake, Javen Allstein, Maggie Falls, Bert Hustler, Ray Ray, Sam, Hope Mills, Allie Cooper, a woman named Michelle, and many others who have been using R&M on me, passing it around. Mike, a homeless guy that lives in a tent or a trailer here in town. Destiny Larrabee, Crystal Larrabee, they are also using this. They are also using R&M on my dog as well. They are abusing him through this as well. So it's not only me that's going through this. My dog is going through it as well. They are fucking very seriously delusional, psychotic people. They are all highly junkies. They are junkies in every sense of the word, and they are guilty of attempted murder. William Wooldridge was also stalking my mother, calling her mom because he was told so, when she was 77 at the time and he's 70, and now, that don't add up. She was 7 years old, so, and he believed it. One big thing after another. Anyway, this is how O.P.P human traffic, frame, and kill here in NAPANEE. I just want to say to everybody, love all, hate none, and be safe. Your children are not safe, and neither are your parents. They are not afraid to have parents murdered. If you like this, hit like, subscribe, share. Be safe, everybody. Love all, hate none. Chris Wood here.